6th June 2023 Morning Murli Shanti BapDada Madhupan. Sweet children, make effort to become bodiless. Bodiless means not to have any bodily religion or relationship. Let the soul content remember the Father alone. Question: when will you children have 100% power? What effort must you make for that? Answer: when you children reach the final moments of running in the race of remembrance, you will have 100% power. The arrow will instantly strike the target when you explain this knowledge to anyone at that time. For this, make effort to become soul conscious. Look in the mirror of your heart to check that all your old accounts have been burnt away by having remembrance. Song: you are the ocean of love with thirst for one drop. Shanti. You children know that Alpha means the Father has now come. There is the praise. We receive liberation and light. That is the sovereignty of heaven from the Father in a second. Because of Father is the creator of heaven. Liberation and life in a second. It's received from only the Father. Human beings cannot receive it from human beings. As soon as a child is born, he becomes an heir. When someone first comes, you ask that person to feel in a form who is the Father of souls. It is said, an embodied soul, a charitable soul. It is not said embodied supreme soul, sinful supreme soul, charitable supreme soul. No, it is said a great soul, a charitable soul. It is remembered that souls remain separated from the supreme soul for a long time. Therefore, God surely has to come to liberate you from sorrow. So when people come, first ask them to feel in a form who is the Father of you, a soul. Who is the Father of your body? There are two separate things, I and mine. I am a soul and this is my body. Where is the place of residence of me, a soul? Who is the Father of you, a soul? It would not be asked, who is the Father of the Supreme Soul? First of all, you have to know Alpha. He is the truth, the ocean of knowledge. He is the Father of all. No human beings or judges etc. know that they are souls. It is the soul that speaks with the organs of a body. I am a judge. I am a surgeon. Only the one Father makes you soul conscious. You now know that you are souls. All the rest are relatives of your bodies. It is in terms of relationships of bodies that someone is a mother, someone is a father, etc. In terms of souls, we are brothers. This has to be explained first. The inheritance of liberation and life in a second is remembered. Who is the one who gives liberation and life? In the golden age, there is liberation and life, and in the iron age, there is a life of bondage. This too has to be explained. The system here of feeling in a form is very good. You children know that the memorial of the Father of our souls is here. That incorporeal one is the Father of our souls. We are corporeal. There is the memorial of the incorporeal one. Therefore, he must also surely have come. He is the one who makes impure ones pure, old ones new. The world changes from new to old. There is just the one world. Therefore, the creator of the world must definitely be one. There cannot be two of them. God is the creator. He makes this old world new. The new world that was Bharat was heaven. God is one. The world is one. There was the golden age and it is now the iron age. There was ancient Bharat. Therefore, the one who made the world new would have made Bharat new. When people come here for the first time, explain the secret to them. You are a soul. Souls continue to take rebirth. The Father comes and makes you soul conscious. I am a judge. I am a barrister. Or I belong to a Christian religion. All of those are bodily religions. Souls are bodiless, and so they don't have any relationships or religions. A soul by himself becomes karmatit. Then once again, souls have the relationships of mothers and fathers, etc. They change their costumes, they change their paths and have new parents. Souls continue to take rebirth. In fact, souls are incorporeal and reside in the incorporeal world. Then when a soul adopts a body, he says, "This is my name and form." The Father sits here and says to you, "Children, consider yourselves to be souls. You have to return home. You have played your parts for 84 births. You became a barrister. You became a king. You are now becoming the masters of the world. Only the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul can say this to souls. These things are not in the intellect of anyone else. They say that each soul is the Supreme Soul. The Father comes and explains to you the secrets of the world cycle. You now know that you truly have been around the cycle of 84 births. This is now your final birth and you have to return home. People make effort to go to the land of liberation. I, a soul, am a resident of the land of liberation. But because of having body consciousness, you don't know this. We souls reside in the incorporeal world. We have come here from there to play our parts. All remember God in order to go to God. Therefore, first of all, explain that a soul and a body are two different things. Each soul has a mind and intellect in him. He is living. Souls are imperishable. Bodies are perishable. The Father of all souls is that incorporeal Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, the knowledgeful one. He alone is called the God of the Gita. All devotees have love for God, the ocean of love. He pulls the devoted so much. There can only be one God. There are so many devotees. All are impure. They all remember the purifier. And so, there must be the one incorporeal one. All the rest are his creation. Brahma, Vishnu and Shankar are also a creation. The human world too is a creation. The highest on high Father is the resident of the Supreme Abode. Just as a soul is a star, so the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is a star. It has been explained to you, children, that there is only one world and that it has to repeat. All the religions have to go around the cycle. All actors are playing their parts. No one's part can be changed. Each part has to be played. First of all, it is essential to explain who the Father of souls is. They say, "Oh God the Father." Who said this? Souls speak through their bodies. The Father of souls is the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. This is the main thing. You mustn't debate with anyone too much. There is liberation and life in a second. The Father explains to you, children, become soul conscious. At this time, this world is impure. Because of not knowing God, the Father, they have become orphans. In the golden age, they experience the reward. There is no need to remember the Father there. People of the world don't know that the people of Bharat receive this reward from the Father. Bharat becomes heaven. It is Maya, means Ravan, that makes it into hell. Bharat has to become old from new. For instance, if a building is going to be 100 years old, it would be said to be old after 50 years. In the same way, the world becomes old from new. Then, who will make it new again? How will it repeat? The world was pure. Someone must have made it pure. Only the one Father is the purifier. He alone would make it pure. Who makes it impure? Who makes it pure? No one can understand this. You now belong to the Father. The Father means the Father. You don't only half believe or three-quarters belief in the Father. However, Maya brings you into body consciousness. All your efforts are required to become bodiless and to belong to the Father. In fact, Maya is a great enemy. You claim the kingdom with the power of yoga. Only by having remembrance do you receive your inheritance from the Father. The power is that of remembrance alone. The Father says, forget your bodies and all body relations and remember me because you have to come back to me. The golden age is liberation in life and the iron age is bondage in life. There is the bondage of Ravan, the five vices. It doesn't exist there. The Father comes and liberates you. You know that there was supreme peace and prosperity in Bharat. It isn't there now. Therefore, the Supreme Father must surely have established it. He would have come. He comes at the confluence age and makes Bharat liberated in life. All the rest of the religions are by plots. This Bharat is old. When there was the kingdom of deities in New Bharat, there was one religion. That is called heaven. Therefore, when you gave the Father's introduction first, they won't argue. The Father only tells the truth. Srimad is from him. Next are the instructions of the Brahma. Brahma definitely receives instructions from the Father. Brahma is now in the night. He was in the day. The day of Brahma and the night of Brahma means the day and night of the Brahma Kumaris and Kumaris. The night of Prajapita Brahma would also definitely be the night of the children. The Father explains, I come and first of all create Brahmins through the mouth of Brahma. The Brahmin clan is needed. This sacrificial fire has been created. It would not be said to be the sacrificial fire of Sri Krishna. This is the sacrificial fire of the knowledge of Rudra. This is the rosary of Rudra. Father Shiv created the sacrificial fire at this time. The Father sits here and teaches this. Children, I change you from ordinary humans into Narayan, into kings of kings. This is Raj Yoga. Sri Krishna would not be called God. God teaches Raj Yoga through which you become like Sri Krishna. The main thing is that you children first have to become soul conscious. Otherwise, you won't be able to strike anyone with an arrow. Only by becoming soul conscious and remembering the Father will you receive power. When you become really strong, the arrow will be shot at Bhishma Pitamaha. It has to happen gradually. You now continue to receive power. You have to become 100% by the end. You have to run the race. You are now studying. You will become very strong. You should explain that you are living souls and that God the Father is one. Ask those people why they say that each soul is the supreme soul. God the purifier is only one. You are the ones who take rebirth. God doesn't have a body of his own. He is the Rudra, Shiv. Human beings cannot be called God. A name is given to a body of a soul. Souls are all the same. Sometimes a soul has a body of a barrister. It isn't that a soul becomes a dog or a cat, etc. The Father says, beloved children, human beings only become human beings. Animals are of different varieties, means species. At this time, it is as though human beings are worse than animals. Maya has ruined everyone's life according to the drama. The Father now comes and makes everyone's life worthwhile. The people of Bharat call God the Mother and Father. People abroad say, Oh God the Father. Acha, if he is the Father, the Mother is also needed with him. They speak of Eve, but who is she? Who has been called Eve? Mama would not be called Eve. Mama is Jagadamba. This one Brahma is called Eve because he creates through this one's mouth, and this is why the saying you are the mother and father can be proved. Only the one is called the mother and father. There also has to be the mother of Jagadamba. She is also a human. All of these things can be imbibed when you make constant effort to become soul conscious. If you don't have remembrance, you cannot imbibe those things. Maya is very powerful. If you don't stay in remembrance, she will continue to punch you. Maya even punches those who have been here for 10 to 12 years. She turns their faces away. They forget and then say that it wasn't in their fortune. There is a song, I have come to create my fortune. Which fortune did you create when you come? That of marrying Lakshmi. BapDada says, look in the mirror of your heart. Am I worthy? Have I become as sweet as the Father? The Father says, become soul conscious. The more you remember me, the Father, the more you will accumulate. If you don't remember, you won't accumulate. It is only by having remembrance that your old accounts will continue to be burnt away. The fire of yoga means remembrance. I, a soul, am remembering God. The Father also says, have the faith that you are souls and remember me. It is a mistake to say that souls are the supreme soul. God never takes rebirth. You constantly take rebirth. My birth is divine and unique. I enter an ordinary body. Otherwise, where would Brahmins come from? A mature Prajapita Brahma is needed. A young child is not needed. They always show Radhe and Krishna as young. How could so many people call a young child Prajapita? How could you call Shri Krishna the mother and father? The Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, has now come as the guide. He will take all souls back with him. The Father explains very clearly. First of all, ask them to feel in a form. The main thing is who is the God of the Gita, who created the sacrificial fire. This is called the sacrificial fire of Rudra or the sacrificial fire of knowledge. The Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is the ocean of knowledge, the Father of all. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost, and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, BapDada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says Namaste and good morning to the spiritual father. Essence for the dharana. First point, become soul conscious, renounce bodily relations, and make it firm that we souls are brothers. Become as sweet as the Father. Second point, become soul conscious and give the Father's introduction. You receive the inheritance of liberation in life from the Father in a second. You must never debate with anyone. Blessing. May you be a greatly powerful soul and achieve success in every task with your courage and enthusiasm. Explanation. On the path of devotion, it is said, courage and enthusiasm can change dust into wealth. When you have courage and enthusiasm, others will cooperate with you. Even if you lack wealth, your enthusiasm will attract wealth from somewhere or other. It will even bring you success. It is the duty of great instrument souls to remain enthusiastic and to give enthusiasm to others too. It is because you have enthusiasm now that they show those non-living images as constantly smiling and powerful. Slogan. Fortunate souls are those who have the canopy of BapDada's love over them. Om Shanti.